another metaphor. Okay, so this is another water metaphor. Here's a pond, you see, and there's just dropping water. Imagine that the water itself is the field or the space of mind, and the drops are the objects that you come into contact with. And notice that everything is perfectly recorded. Every bit of information and energy is perfectly recorded in mind. But notice when the mind, let's say energy and information stop, things go away. Notice that the nature of mind is to be empty, without a ripple. So every time we come into contact with an object, ripple or disturbance. And then in meditation, you can watch very carefully yourself coming into contact with the objects of your life. If your eyes are closed, it'll be sounds you'll contact in mind. You'll have your own thoughts and sensations. All that will be contacting mind, the space of mind. But if you also turn your attention to the space itself, you'll notice that it's merely clear. It is a clear, empty space. And the more you focus consciously, intentionally hold your attention on the emptiness of that space, now that you know that there's sort of a difference between this ultimate and what's coming and going, and the relative, the space and the objects, you could orient more towards the space than the objects. And then, strangely, when you do that, the objects, at least thinking as an object, seems to slow down and doesn't disturb the space of mind so much until you can get to an extremely focused, stable place where you can get some direct experience of that totally peaceful, beautiful goodness, stillness inside of you. That beauty, truth, and goodness we were talking about earlier, it's all there. And it's like that is who you are. You just got to orient towards it. And all of our faith traditions are pointing us in this direction. In the Bible, it says that the kingdom of heaven is not going to come by signs to be observed. So it won't be an object. Okay? Nobody's going to say, lo, it is here or it's over there. Not going to say that. Because it's inside you. Okay, that is literal truth. And then in this Buddhist saying, it says, the truth is near to you. It's nearer than near. So something can be near to me. A thing could be near to me. This. But what's nearer than near? It is who I am. It's not outside in any way. It is what I am. And so all of that is waiting to be experienced with skillful, wise understanding of what we're trying to do, and then a skillful direction. And if you bring some want to, like I really want to do this, it's going to happen for you. And then you're going to have a biology and a psychology. That's all going to be there. But the want to, the intention in that transcendent realm where all the beauty, truth, and goodness is, that's going to open up a capacity. It's going to change you from the top down. And then the mind, the brain will change. The chemicals will change. It all works like that. Okay, so now, what we're going to do now is I am going to put you into a place where you can directly experience empty mind. Now again, it's not going to be a thing. It's going to be more like a quality that you feel and that you know. There's going to be a knowing of truth. There's going to, when I use those words, beauty, truth, and goodness, you're going to kind of feel like, yeah. And then don't question it, okay? You'll get an inkling right here, right now. So how are we going to do that? Mind is like a space. So this is this little guy right here. That's my symbol for consciousness is awake. Consciousness is conscious two ways. One way that consciousness is conscious is that we have attention. We were just talking about attention. That's one of the 5 mental factors. Now, you guys, pay attention to me. You at home, pay attention to this and notice the quality of attention. Notice that it's like a directed beam of consciousness. And whatever you're, like a flashlight. And notice that whatever you pay attention to, you're more conscious of that thing. Notice that, okay? Good. We have attention. It can orient. And you have some choice over where your attention goes. You can pay attention to me, or notice if I ask you, pay attention to your left foot. Notice that attention kind of swings. Listen to the right side of the room. Attention swings. So you have a choice of where your attention goes. But mostly we are not taught to pay attention to where our attention goes. That's the problem. So notice this. This is kind of weird. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. And now, pay attention to your attention. Notice that something got strange right there. that attention is part of mind, therefore not observable. And so if there's no know-how in you to try to track where is my attention, it'll already have a habit of going towards things and fixating, and then you're going to get the result of that action. Okay, that's the primary action. Attention going and fixating. Contact, feeling, discrimination, attention, intention. Okay, but today you're learning we've got to start waking up, becoming more aware of where our attention is. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to do on a meditation cushion. We're going to learn how to place our attention, monitor it, and try to keep it still. All right, so another part of consciousness, the other part of consciousness is called awareness. So think of the rest of the space, mind, okay? Awareness is aware in 3 domains all at once. It's aware of the world. The sights and the sounds that you're aware of right now outside of you, that's the domain we'll call the world, okay? And notice that you can pay attention to what's in the world. You're doing it right now. But there's also a domain that awareness is in, and it's your body. Awareness is embodied. You can feel right now your whole body. Awareness goes into every bit of it. But also there's a domain that we'll call the mind, meaning awareness itself. And so let me give you an inkling of that. As you look at me, everybody look, and you at home, look in this direction. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to perceive your own brain. And notice that you can't. Right? You can't perceive your own brain. But stay right there. Try to perceive your own brain. And just notice that you can't perceive a brain, but you can perceive awareness where you think your brain is. And notice that awareness is what's looking out of your eyes. And so just notice the awareness. Notice that. It's so quiet and awake. And then it leaks in like there's no boundary. It goes straight into the body and into the world. All 3 of these domains, these are just words that seem to separate the whole space, but it's a whole space. But we're going to divide it up, since it's so complicated, we're going to divide it up into parts so we can begin to work with the parts. That's one of the things that we're going to do to follow the system rules so we can get better. Okay, so now, if I were to ask you to place your attention consciously and at the very same time become aware of the whole space, you would be being mindful. That's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is a very conscious and deliberate of placing attention and staying globally aware. So local attention, global awareness. We are going to do that right now. All right. So here's what I want you to pay attention to consciously. So sit up nice and straight. And all I want you to do is just pay attention to that blue dot on the screen. That's all. And you at home, just listen to my voice. Sit back in your chair, nice straight spine. Don't let yourself go mentally dull as you listen to my voice. Crystal clear awake. Hold your eyes on that blue dot. Keep your body as still as possible. Now, at the very same time, with eyes open, I would like you to begin to become aware, more aware of what you can see to the left and the right sides of the room without moving your eyes. So take in the whole space. So see right and left and up and down, even the space between your nose and that dot. Pay attention to the space. Good. Now, at the very same time, I want you to open your ears the same way. Listen to the left. Listen to the right. With your hearing sense, listen to the whole space of the room in which you're sitting. Good. Notice how dialed in to the space of the world you are right now. You're monitoring and modifying the energy and information that's flowing right now in the world. Now, bring yourself, your awareness, into the body. So feel the body that's sitting there, looking at this blue dot. From the tips of your toes to the top of your head, feel all of the bodily sensations, the emotional sensations, warmth, coolness, tingling, pressure. Feel everything. And notice the self-making quality. Notice that you're not doing it. You're not making the warmth or the itches or the comforts or the discomforts. Nothing. Notice, feel that vibrant body, that embodied awareness is awake to all of the sensations, the objects in the space. And those objects, the sensations, are totally flowing. Every single moment, different. Every single moment. Notice that. Notice how awake you are to the space of your body. And usually, you're not so aware of what's going on in the body. Your awareness is not so embodied. Okay? Now, we're going to do that thing I asked you to do before. Think of where your brain is. But notice that you don't perceive a brain. That's the space where we think mind is. So notice it. Notice the quality of what's looking out from behind your eyes. Notice it is utterly silent. You can't find an edge. If you can imagine an invisible glass tube that is focused exactly on that blue dot and follow that glass tube right back to your eyes. Notice the mere clarity. Your eyes, your pupils are perfectly clear. There's a space, a clear space going from the space of the room into the space of those eyes, all the way back into the space of mind. Notice there's no separation. Consciousness doesn't have a boundary. There's a space that goes all the way through. And it goes the same into the body. The mind that's noticing everything is aware of sights and sounds, thoughts and sensations, and awareness itself all at the same time. You're meditating right now with your eyes open. And notice how you feel. Notice those qualities that we talked about earlier. Luminosity, clarity. Notice there's peace, that acceptance. Notice that it's constant, like the mind behind the eyes, the space itself doesn't change. The sights and sounds, my voice, sounds are changing for sure. Sensations in your body, everything's changing. The objects are changing, but notice the space doesn't change. Notice that. And notice too, more than anything, get a sense of that spacious, clear quality right now. The spacious, clear quality. Okay, great. All right, now. Good. Snap yourself out of that. How awesome is that? Okay, so that meditation is something you can do when you're at work, when you're with your partner, when you're parenting your child. It's not about spacing out. It's about bringing yourself right to the moment fully. Okay? So many great benefits to that. Now that, what you just did just now, so you set an intention to pay attention, and then you held your attention as still as you could hold it, and you kept reflecting back and listening to my voice. Now the meat, the brain, was reacting to what you were doing. It wasn't making you do that. You were changing it. So that's the influence going top down. That's how you're going to change yourself.